Welcome to Thrive, Transformative Strategies for the New Year, the CLA virtual conference poised to redefine your approach to success. Today, we unite under the banner of innovation, ready to forge new paths in personal and professional growth. Each speaker today brings unique insights to propel us forward. Get ready to explore innovative strategies that will enhance your growth journey in 2024.
Hello, so excited to be here. I'm like a kid at the candy store. Listen, I want to talk to everybody who's crushing it, who has made the opportunity to come into this space. It is phenomenal. I want to start with a quote that I kind of pinned because it is something true, it's something factual, and something that I'm learning each day. Life is a stage. Life is a stage, and people will dance on the stage you set, right? So you might want to write that down real quick. I'm going to be dropping some jewels really fast here, but you got to understand that people will show up to the stage that you set. I remember back in the day, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was speaking all over the world. I was crushing stages to the applause of, wow, that is so amazing. That is so spectacular. Dr. Reid, guess what? Where's your book? And I like to say in the South, we have a term, an urban term called fitna. And I was stuck in fitna. You know, fitna is getting ready to, for those that don't know, getting ready to, about to. I was always stuck in this about to phase, and I was crushing stages and I didn't have a book. Well, later on in life, it took me 10 years to write my first book. And when I wrote my first book, nobody taught me about how to link the two, So it's important that you understand stages are pages. If you don't have a book yet, and you're out here killing stages, that is the number one no-no that I would like to say. Do not crush stages without writing the book about what you already do, Things are great, things are good talking about your life. But if you're an entrepreneur on this CLA Summit and you do not have a book about what you already do, hey, look no further. I'm going to talk to you about 7 ways how to keep your book relevant. Now, I want to start really quick with something that I wrote. I want you to look at this and I want you to imagine this is my life. I'm going to do this really quickly, and I'm going to take you to a journey of my life. It's not fair. The same blood flows from your heart in my vein. It's a shame. When I was young, I called to you. When I was smaller, I crawled to you, but you were never there, man. Always a here and everywhere, man. So I labeled you my X-Man. See, there's no pain like living in the day-to-day prison, bleeding from helpless rejection, parked at life's intersection, parallel to nowhere, across the corner from neglect. But see, I show you respect because I realized that your old man put the X on you, man, but now I'm a free man. So I quote in the ears of my young man, the X marks the spot of God's eternal plan. Wow. That was something I wrote, right? But I didn't understand. So I'm going to talk about 7 ways how I had a great story, and some of you have a book. I love what Nick talked about earlier about writing those books and getting those books out and marketing those books. But let me tell you that you are the stage. Now, some of you are working on keynotes. Some of you are saying, hey, some of you are even speaking today, but you are the stage that people will jump on, sit on, and stand on. So I'm going to talk about setting the stage. I just set the stage really quick. I talked to you about my life. My life was in turmoil. I was rejected by my father. I was abused by my stepfather. And I was learning in life that I was so angry, but I always was a writer. And I realized that this movie, and some of you watching this movie, this thing of these events in your life, you're wondering, how do I maximize it? And some of you, I want to tell you really quick, this is something you can write down. Take your pain with you. Take your pain with you. Set the stage with your adversity. Set the stage with the things you went through. Set the stage, guys, with the thing that you want to throw away. I'm a firm believer that there is nothing wasted, nothing wasted. Write that down. Nothing wasted, that everything in your life as a seasoning and an ingredient to your life. It's just like a soup, right? The potatoes by themselves are just potatoes, but when you add tomatoes and you get the gravy in there and you get the onions in there and they start to simmer, woo, you got a well-cooked soup. Can I tell you that the adversity that you've been through in business sets your stage? So if you're on the stage and you're setting the stage, right? You're becoming that stage. You never go without your book. Like I can tell you the flaws. I was talking all over the world and I didn't have a book. You want to take your book on the stage. Somebody say, set that on the stage. That is so important. You looking at this right now, you grasping this right now, take your book with you. All right, on the stage, on the platform, the book that you wrote about that solves. Listen, people will not just pay you for your life story. That's great, that's grandiose. But, and I know it means a lot to you, but people are wanting to know, what will it do for me? Right? When you step on that stage, you need to refer back to a quote, to something powerful that resonates from your book. Do not fill your keynote with a bunch of quotes from everybody else and people don't know who you are. Let me say that again. Don't fill your keynote with everybody else's research, everybody else's statistics, everybody else's thought of you, that you don't drop some jewels when you hit that stage. You have to light it up. You got one shot. I'm almost feeling like Eminem when he came and said, you got one shot to be on that stage. Listen, because let me say this really quick, that a book will keep you booked. If you take what you solve and put it into a book, listen, doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be grandiose. It just needs to be done. And that is a part of your stage. I set stages every time I have pages. I set stages every time I have pages. I set stages. Say that with me, every time I have pages, right? So that is the number one thing. That is step one. You have to set the stage. And sometimes the stage won't come to you. You have to go through that stage. Sometimes you have to speak for free so that you can sell the book in the back of the room. Some of you got to get in the door. The second thing I want to tell you is that you have to craft your signature stage persona, right? Don't try to be someone else. Let me give you this. This is a write it down. This is something powerful. The hardest thing to be in life is they want to be. The hardest thing to be in life is a wannabe. So if you are trying to be like Tony Robbins and all of his greatness, and John Maxwell and all of his greatness, and Les Brown and all of his greatness, and E.T. and all of his greatness, and you're not being yourself, you're robbing yourself from a stage that can catapult you to another level. Somebody take it to another level right now, which means be you, be true. Like Shakespeare said, to thine own self, be true. All right. So your stage has a personality. Bring the stage down. I was judging a speakers competition recently, and people came on there to get feedback. And I was saying, hey, it's not about how loud you are. It's not about how animated you are. It is about, can you take that stage down to you? Can you take down the light? Can you really bring people into your world? Give your stage, give your signature talk from your book a personality, a persona. Hey, you hit that stage and you own it. You maximize every word, because words lead to sentences, sentences leads to paragraphs, paragraphs leads to pages, pages leads to books. All right, so you're doing the same thing. Refer back to the personality of your story inside of your book. Refer back to the personality of the story. If you got characters, or you have adversity, or you got triumphs, or you got defeats, all of that is working together on stage. Bring the stage down to you. All right. Now, this is how you got to do. You have to be strategic. Number 3, strategies to book stages. Look at this. Strategies to book stages. You don't book people. Woo! Powerful. You don't book people. Some of you are trying to book people and personalities. You're trying to rub elbows with who's who's. No, I go after stages. My stage may look like a place in Africa in a small village. My stage may look like a 1,000-room seat. My stage might be 4 people, because I know inside of those 4 influential people that I'm speaking to, they have the power and momentum to propel me forward to another dimension, to another place. And that is so important. Don't choose people, choose stages, opportunities where nobody wants to go, opportunities when nobody wants to speak, opportunities when nobody sees the relevance. You have to have X-ray vision, or like what I like to call night vision, be able to see and have a strategy to get there. One strategy may be that you give your book away free so that you can speak. Ooh, give the book away free. Listen, some of us will say, hey, I don't want to give anybody my $20, $30 book away free. Well, what if I told you that there could be a $2 million or $20 million opportunity in a free book that lands in the right hand, look at it, of the right person? That particular free book you gave away to get on the stage now yields you $2 million in revenue. Wow, let me tell you that really, really again. And some of you have to be able to choose your audiences, the audience itself, not the people, the audience. Because sometimes you can have a powerful solution, but you're talking to the wrong audience. It's almost having like the right pin code to the wrong phone. Some of you on the wrong stages. So your pages are not converting because you in the wrong stage. All right. So choosing the stage, number 3, is so important. Strategies. 4, you want to look at this, have the look at this authorship advantage. Authorship advantage. Listen, I talked about it earlier. McDonald's is not going to worry about Ruth Chris, even though they both sell beef, right? They understand who their target market is. Your authorship or your authority brands you differently, and you have to maximize your authorship. If you know what space you're in and where you dominate, and you're not being a want to be, you can simply dominate that particular area. Woo! You can dominate an area simply because you know who you are. You know what you have authority of. You know what your book solves, right? You have to know what your book solves, and people will pay you for what you solved. I'm working on a book now called From Dreaming to Interpretation. From dreaming to interpretation. A lot of us are dreaming, and that's good. You're around people who are dreaming about stages. They're dreaming, but nobody pays you for dreaming. That's just pep talk, right? That is just us talking. But when you can move from dreaming to interpreting the dreams of others, what does your book solve? What is your authority? How can you leverage your solution? And then people will pay you what you solve. They'll pay you what you solve. They will pay you or invest in what you solve. All right. So that is powerful. Number 4 is going to be a powerful thing, right? So you have to then move to number 5, what I call staging your book for success, which puts it in a framework. Drop your book where people are that need your answer. Let me say it again. Drop your book where people are that need your answer. You wouldn't put a restaurant in a desert. You wouldn't put a gas station where there is no traffic. You wouldn't put a beauty salon where people don't have heads. You're going to need to understand, where do I shift? Where do I put my book? How do I put my keynote together? How do I talk so that I can get into unlock those doors that are locked? How do I unlock those particular doors? That is so important. How do I get inside of those doors? It is so important that we understand that it has to be a staging. Remember, you are the book that you want to write. You are the book. Become the book that you want to write. Some of us are saying, I want to be a bestseller. And I get all the time clients come to me, I want to be a bestseller. Who do you have in your clientele that's hit the bestsellers list? And I said, or the New York Seller best time list. I say, well, you are a bestseller. And if you don't believe that before you sell a book, you will never sell a book. Y'all didn't catch that. You will never sell a book until you believe it. I have people who sell 1,000 books that still don't feel relevant because they don't understand the power of who they are, and they don't feel like they solve anything. They don't understand the relevance of the power of owning the stage, that they are a stage. They're not waiting for an opportunity. So if you have to speak on a school bus, but if you speak on the right level to the right person, you can own the whole fleet of buses by the time it is over. Stages are pages. All right. Now, how I've been able to do that, take one book since 2010, and has made me consecutively 6 figures, is because I still speak and refer back to the first book in my keynotes. Why? Because it's so important that I remind people of my relevance. Now, this is the other thing, staging the book. You have to understand that if you don't bring the book with you, I can't tell you how many times I'm on stages with people who are rocking the stage and they didn't bring their book with them. They wrote a book, but they left it at home because it's going to be too many vendors. I didn't want to pay the extra cost of shipping. Listen, the opportunity to sell yourself from stage comes in your book. So if your book is there, you go to the back of the room and I'm gonna give you a cheat code. You tell them I'm having an exclusive book signing at the end of this keynote to meet with you personally, right? Because guess what? People will throw a business card away. People will throw that little flyer away. They'll forget about the event. I can't tell you how many inboxes I get. I don't know who this guy is, but he wrote a book. So you write the book and solution and position that in the back of the room. All right. That is so powerful, so powerful. We're going to move with number 6, right? When you're staging that for success. You're staging it for success. You go in with the mission for success. And my last one, 7, is sustaining success beyond six figures. How I was able to do that, because I'm always reminding individuals, pushing them back to one of my books. Why? Because a book never gets old. A book never gets old. A book never reaches maturation. You don't have a cap on the book. The most best-selling book of all times was an anthology written by God. And I say to anybody who watching this, even God had a book, a Bible, whether you believe or not. It is the #1 best-selling, repurposed book in the world, written by imperfect men. That is, oh my God, has sold over and over and over. And if you can ever embrace that, you will understand that you don't have to, listen, pretend to be a wannabe. You own the stage, you make it yours. You write on that stage, on the hearts of men and women. You give them the powerful story. You give them the triumph and victory. You are the keynote. You are the keynote. You are the focus. You are the book that is going to be written. Look at this. Long after you leave the stage, people will read your life if you are positioning yourself. Listen to the right people. Give your book away. I'll never forget this. During COVID, I wrote a children's book and I gave the book away to students. Why did I do that? Because it brought in a new stage and a platform virtually that I couldn't get into. And some of you got to realize my marketing was not to the kid, because the kid couldn't buy the book. My marketing to get on that stage was to the teachers and the police officers. Is it possible that the stages that you want to be on, you're not setting yourself on because you didn't write the solution because you thought it wasn't trendy? Oh, a lot of times we won't write the solutions that's deep in our heart, our God-given ability, our wherewithal, our talents are soaked in the purpose of who we are, but we try to water ourselves down and try to become the AI version of who we think we are. Nothing wrong with AI, but I want to say real quick, AI doesn't have a soul. The #1 thing that's going to separate you guys from anybody else going forward and how to stay relevant in the world of AI is going to be storytelling. I use AI all the time, but I tell it what to give me. I still on the stage of my life. I still, look at this, the author of my life. From a standpoint, I still write inside of ChatGPT what I want it to give me. I don't let it dictate what I'm going to speak at my keynote. I bring the stage down. You have one chance, one mic. You have one chance, one mic. You have one life, one story. You have one life, one story. You have one voice, and that is so, so powerful that you don't be diluted by what the status quo is. All right. So #7 has allowed me to reproduce, because a book allows you to reproduce. As long as you can keep it in print, you can always make money. As long as you're writing books, you can always get stages. They are interchangeable, my friend. The stage you're on, people will come and applaud, and they're ready to invest with the authentic you. The authentic you will always show up if you understand who you really are and produce the relevance at that stage. Now, don't get confused. Stages are not always at college universities. Stages are not always in auditoriums. Stadiums are not always in this conference. Stages can simply be 3 people gathered in a room at the right time, in the right moment, or when you're closing this major deal in the back office of some suite on a high-rise building. Is not just going to be televised all the time. Your stage is wherever you have a moment to share the power and impact of your story. Storytelling is the oldest craft, the oldest history, the oldest her story that you can ever conjure up. So definitely, you got to make sure that you're staging the book, you're setting that stage, right? You're being authentic of who you are. You're taking the ownership of your authority. You're bringing the book along. You are there in order to book success. You have to book success. So write about the things you solve. Write about what you already do in your business. Give the book away. Put the book on a stage where everybody is hungry for your message. Quit giving your message to people who are not hungry for it. Ooh, they may pay you a powerful fee, but at the end of the day, if nobody converts and you're not impacting anybody, you walk away empty. You're like me, walking away without having a power to leverage the field. That stage in your life Listen to this. Your keynote, look at this, is your lifeboat. Woo. Your keynote is your lifeboat. It is a lifeline. Wow, I'm so excited. I really get passionate about this because I can see you doing great things. I can see you on the stages. And when you begin to understand who you are, the stages will appear. I haven't had the book of speaking engagement in 3 to 5 years. Why did I say 3 to 5? Because sometimes I have to go back and realize, oh my God, in these 3 to 5 years, am I really intentionally having to book? It's because I've written the book and now I interpret other dreams of others. Once you interpret the dreams of others, you can always go to the next level, next dimension. Listen, I want to help you do that. I want to see you on stages that converts pages, that takes you to a whole new level. Listen, you can never become what you already are. Let me speak to you really quickly. You can never become who you already are. Greatness is inside of you. The momentum is inside of you. You've done the work. You put in the research. Now it's time to own and maximize the stage. And that stage isn't a building. That stage is the avenue of your life. You are the book. You are the pages. You are the solution. You have your own secret sauce. You have your own secret sauce. And there is nobody on planet Earth like you. You have your own domain address. You have your own domain address. You are the chosen one. Now, if I can tell you my matrix theory, if you ever watched Matrix, I don't want to give the spoiler alert, but it was only until Neo realized that the stage that he was on wasn't the stage he was in. It was the stage of his own skin. He had to realize he was the chosen one. And maybe nobody ever told you that your story is relevant, that your speech is the one. But I want to tell you today that your speech is the one. You are the chosen one, and you deserve 6 figures or more. You deserve to be who God has created you to be in this entire planet. And guess what? If you don't speak it, how can they hear it? There are people ready to hear the message that comes from your book. And if you don't speak it, and if you don't articulate it, and if you water it down, nobody likes to water down anything, right? You don't want to be at a place where things are watered down. Nobody wants a watered down soda. Nobody wants a watered down version of you. Nobody wants a watered down keynote of you. They want the raw, the real, the relevant. They want the raw, the real, the relevant. And think about if you put the raw, relevant, real and relevant inside of your book, how great, how awesome, how perfect the timing will be. And guess what? 7 tips I gave you, apply them over and over again, no matter what stages, no matter what you are. When you are invited, you maximize the stage and you refer back to a story of yours. You refer back to your truth. You refer back to your authentic self. You refer back to what nobody in the world can do like you. There's nobody that can embrace the power of you but you. Stages are not places. They are pinnacles inside of you. Ah, man, that's good. Pinnacles inside of you. Some of you have not even reached the peak of who you really are. The stages that you are looking at now are too low for you. The stages that you're looking at now are too low for you. There is greatness in your next story. Write the book on what you're afraid of. Write the book on when you were in bankruptcy. Write the book of when you didn't have the 7-figure income. Write the book because somebody needs to sit on the couch of your life and they need to be able to say, I can make it too. Because Dr. Reid has milked the crisis, so can I. Because he was born.
Thank you for engaging with this session of Thrive. As we continue with our next speaker, remember the insights and strategies shared are steps towards your transformative journey this year. Stay connected for more empowering talks. The Connected Leaders Academy is committed to your ongoing journey of growth and excellence. Remember, this journey is just beginning. Let's keep the momentum going. Join our community at www.connectedleadersacademy.com.